But so product of the day is contractors all risk insurance. Contractors all risk insurance means engineering insurance. So let us say when we talk of engineering insurance, that means three major things. There is something like ongoing construction project, or there is installation project, or there is machine and equipment in project operation. These are the subject matters of the engineering insurance. Variety of policies are there for this purpose, but these are the major categories where the engineering insurance comes into the picture, because this engineering insurance provides economic safeguard to these risks. Majorly, there is a range of risks related to engineering, but all these are concerned to ongoing construction projects, installation projects, and machine and equipment in project operations. One special thing about the engineering insurance is there is a creation, there is a designing, there is a construction, and there is a building. All these things are available there, and they need the coverage, because along with them the level of risk increases at every stage. If there is any designing is there, any creation is there, any construction is there, the level of risk will increase at every stage. So engineering policies protects that risk only. Now the question is, why CR policy? Why contractors policy? Say for this typical reason is there, because our country is an economy which is growing because of the rapid infrastructure development. Means India is the fastest growing economy in the world, with an upbeat outlook towards rapid infrastructural development. So when we talk of rapid infrastructural development, it doesn't mean this is on record of papers only. There has to be something which can be physically seen, and they are related to the railways, the industrial units, housing facilities, dams, flyovers, power plants, and other such construction projects. If this kind of construction projects are coming or emerging or under construction or under development, they all need engineering coverages. Because if any industrial unit is to be installed, or a flyover is to be constructed, or a power plant is to be erected, you can just imagine what amount of risk would be there. So to cover that risk, engineering policies are required. And for this purpose, there is a specific policy that is called Contractors all risk insurance. Why this is? Because these projects are constructed or developed by the contractors. Maybe they are belonging to the state government or central government or the corporates. They may be the financiers, they may be the planners, they may be the principals. But the work in the field is done by the contractors and their teams. So contractors need the coverage for the risk attaches to the projects, because the possibility of damage to the construction materials, machinery, constructed portion due to environmental or man-made hazards can lead to substantial losses for the contractors. Substantial losses means losses in crores of rupees. Because the cost of the projects may be in 100 crore, 1000 crores. So this kind of risks are involving long-term and heavy amount. So that is the reason the engineering policies are divided according to the time factor. Because the types of engineering policies can be categorized into two basic components, that is annual policy and long-term policy. Long-term policies are also known as the project insurance. But in annual policies you will find the CPM policy, EI policy, machinery breakdown policy, boiler and pressure plant policy. They are the annual policies issued for 1 year, thereafter they are renewed for every year. And normally these are the policies used by the firms, corporate or units or projects which are running into operations. On the other hand, there are long-term policies that are also known as the project insurance. These policies are known as the contractors or the standard action orders. They are not renewed. They are not for operations. They are given at the stage when the project is taking shape. And if the policy is expired, it can be extended for the further period, for the time required. So there is a variation and differentiation in these policies, not only on the basis of the time, but according to the nature also. Nature of the policies varies according to the projects. There is one more classification, and that is based on the phases. Policies related to the construction phase and policies related to the operation phase. Policies used in construction phase are contractors always, correction always, correction, advance loss of profit and delay in the start. They are given at the construction phase. Means the project has not yet started. This is under construction. This is at the erection phase. On the other hand, there are policies which are given at the operational stage. So they are called as the operation phase policies or annual policies like MBD, BPP, MLOP. MLOP stands for machinery loss of profit. CPM, contractors plant and machinery. CECR, civil engineering completed this. EI, electronic equipment insurance and deterioration of stock insurance. They are all annual policies. So these are the two different natures of dividing the engineering policies. There are multiple policies depending for the specific uses. And you must know at what stage which policy will come into the picture. There is a period which plays an important part or important role in the engineering insurance. Because this period also divides the policies. This period can be separately taken for maintenance also. So period has to be defined specifically in the proposal form. Similarly, for different purposes this policy can be taken. Say some residential office building is coming up, some hospital is under construction, some school or theatres are built, some production facilities are going on, or some infrastructure facilities are developing. Airport is under construction, bridge, dam, tunnels, harbors. They are all infrastructures. They need the coverage because the risk attaches to them is very high. Why it is high? Because the cost of the project is very high. One bridge is under construction or an airport is under construction. This is not a matter of some 10 crore, 20 crore, 50 crores. The cost involved is huge. The time involved is huge. So obviously the risk attachment is huge. Unless they are properly covered under a specific policy, no contractor will take the risk to complete them and finish them. So coverage is required. They will be after you to give the policy. They may come at any stage to take the policy. Because without insurance protection, undertaking such a huge project is a big risk. It can make the contractors bankrupt. So the coverage is required. Now the policy has two sections. One is material damage and the second is third party damage. But material damage is big section in the sense this is all risk covered. All risk covered means everything is covered excluding the exclusions. Everything is covered excluding those risks which are specifically in the list of exclusions. Everything is covered except the specified perils which are not in the list of coverage. So this material damage section is big one. And third party liability covers both bodily injury and property damage. Now see the period of cover. Time factor is very important. Means when this policy will start, it commences at two different stages. One, cover shall commence from the commencement of one, means when the day project is started, or arrival of first consignment at the project site, whichever is earlier. In either of these two circumstances, whichever is earlier, the policy will commence. इन दोनों में से जो भी चीज पहले हो गई पॉलिसी कवरेज उसी दिन से स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. Either the project work has started or the first consignment has reached to the project site, whichever is early. So these two different circumstances are there when the policy can commence. Now the question is when the policy will expire. There are three different conditions. When the completed part thereof is taken over, or put into service, or the date specified in the policy, whichever is earlier. Either of these three means the project is completed, or it is taken over. Second stage, when it is put into service, means it is the operation has started. Or the third stage, when the policy date has expired. Now suppose the policy date has expired and the project is not completed. In case the work is not completed within the period specified in the policy, then the policy can be extended. It is not renewed. Renewed means renewal for complete 1 year. Extension means extension could be for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 1 year, 2 years. As per requirement. Why? Because the contractor better knows how much time is required to complete the project. Maybe there may be plus minus of 1 or 2 months. But at the stage of half completion, we cannot say the project is completed. He needs further time. For that further time, he has to get the policy extended. So there is a difference between the CR and ER. The name of the policy is contractor all risk and erection all risk. Now see the similarities. Both are all risk covers. Both are engineering policies. Both are long-term policies. Both are given to the projects. But they are one and only determining factor of difference is where the value of erection and installation work is above 50%, then you will get an external risk. And where the construction value is more than 50%, you have to do CR policy. So CR majorly concerned with the construction or civil work. ER is concerned with the value of erection and installation. This is the only difference. Now when you are giving this policy, you have to keep in mind that the risk inspection is required in engineering policies. And every general insurance company is having their own risk engineers which are going to the specific locations to verify the site and to see what coverage is recommended, what suggestions are given for risk improvement. So the report of risk engineer plays a very important role in the engineering insurance. At times, the risk is rated and accepted only on the basis of the report of risk engineer. Otherwise, it can be declined. Then duty of utmost effort is there because huge money is involved, huge risk is involved, huge time is involved. Insured has to declare all material information. Material means which can have direct impact on the rating of the proposal and acceptance of the proposal. Policies can be issued in the joint names of two or more parties, that principal, contractor or something. So most all classes of engineering insurance are controlled by tariff, engineering tariff. There is a specified engineering tariff which is having all these individual policies. Still, all the general insurance companies are following the same terms, conditions, policy wordings, but the rating is different, add-on covers are different. And now IRD has allowed the insurance companies to develop and design their own wordings of the policies, because de-notification of tariffs is there. So any company can develop and design their own policy. But so far, all of them are following the same terms of the tariff. Some insured is adjustable at the completion of construction on the basis of actual value. Now the CAR policy is given for the risk located in India. That means if a contractor is having more than one project, one is within the territory of India, one is beyond the territory of India, he can get the coverage for the project that is located in India. Maybe the country is Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Malaysia. That project will not be covered under the CR policy because there are rules and regulations about that. But the policy can be taken by the principal, contractor or subcontractor. So for that purpose, your target segment is government contractors who are involved in government projects like road construction, building construction, and a good number of builders and developers of township. Because you will find in every city, builders and developers are there. They are developing high-rise buildings, malls, multi-complexes, maybe the building for industrial units. So they are all your target segments. You can get the policy there. And for all of this nature of projects, this policy CR can be given. Road construction, hospital construction, residential apartments. So what is the coverage? The material damage section, that is first section. That is always covered. And third party liability is the second section. That is covering for both person and property. But the rating of the coverage will be by considering all these factors. Because these are the key factors influencing contractors or risk insurance cost. What is the project cost? What is the construction duration? What is the project location? What is the coverage requirement? And what is the tailored insurance solutions? Customization. Say suppose the contractor is having their own plant and machinery. He wants the coverage under the same policy. That can be tailored. Because the policy provides are able to cover their plant and machinery in the contractor's or risk insurance. So all these factors are important. Now this material damage section is big one. Because this covers multiple kind of risk. For example, fire perils. Like fire, lightning, explosion, theft, burglary, windstorm, flood, inundation, earthquake, landslide, sliding substance. They are all fire policy perils. They are all covered. Because none of them is excluded. Then additionally, there are construction faults. Like defective material, workmanship, collapse, subject to exclusions. If the collapse is given in the exclusion list, then it is not covered, otherwise it is covered. Human errors, lack of skills, negligence of workers, other perils, air crash, blasting. These are all part of the policy, and the CR policy cover all these risks. So for example, this is the practical image of the loss. If this kind of loss is taking place, anything or everything, like building, property, third party, animals, material, all are damaged and everything is covered. So how to take the sum insured of the policy? Wherever the policy is subject to under insurance, the sum insured has to be allocated. Wherever the average clause is applicable, the sum insured should be more than the projected cost. That should include marine landed cost, marine indigenous landed cost of construction, permanent civil engineering work, escalated value, and even cost of material, wages, freights, custom duties, construction cost, and materials of items supplied by the principals. Because don't be strict to the projected cost. Within the time frame of the construction, cost may be double, triple. It may increase like anything. Cost may shoot up. Because it depends on multiple factors. Labor cost, material cost, political environment, time factor. So escalation works here. Half the escalated value should be taken. But that is also not sufficient. It depends upon how quickly the project is completed. The more delay is there, the more increase in escalation in the value. They are the other costs available with the policy. Third party liability, surrounding properties, escalation, renewal of the ECP and but they are all subject to option of selection by the insured. None of them is mandatory because each one has got the additional cost. So whatever the contractor wants or the insured wants, he can select it. It's again a loss of the real site. Building under crores of construction collapses. So in such cases you cannot imagine the loss because unless these libraries are removed, you cannot actually find or assess the loss. It takes time to assess the loss and assess losses. Now these are the common exclusions under the CR policy. Otherwise, everything is covered. Like willful negligence or willful act. Loss discovered while taking the inventory. Faulty designs, consequential losses, improvisation, or cost necessary for rectification. Bodily injury or illness of employees or workmen of the contractor or principals. This risk is not covered because this risk is covered under a separate policy. And that policy is called workman compensation insurance. So every contractor will take a policy for their employees to cover their physical risk of death, disability, injury, etc. in the workman compensation insurance. Similar is the case with the principals. They will also take for their employees. Third party liability coverage can be taken, wider coverage can be taken, but not for maintenance purposes. Maintenance, if it is covered, otherwise not. If it is adopted, then only it is covered. So the additional premium on third party liability coverage will be as per the selection of any 1% limit and any one accident limit. That has to be opted by the insurance. Again, a practical loss, where the possibility of third party loss was there, and it is this demolition has killed two passersby. People who were passing through that same route, they were outsiders. They were killed because such a construction collapsed. Now, wherever the under insurance is applicable, the restatement of sum insured is also required. Because the settlement of claim of any amount will reduce the sum insured of the policy for the unexpired period of risk. Say suppose on the 4th month of the policy, a loss of 25 crore was paid in the policy. Sum insured is 200 crores. So after payment of the claim, sum insured remains only 175 crores. And now 8 months are yet to go. Nobody can rule out the possibility that in the remaining 8 months there will not be any loss. It is always better to restate the sum insured. Otherwise, the insured will suffer the losses on account of the under insurance. Because the proportionate amount will be deducted from the claim amount. Now, when you are giving this policy to any of the contractors, the rating of the proposal will depend upon the project type. What is the project type? What is the project in fact? It is hospital, it is flyover, this is power plant, this is industrial unit, what it is. Accordingly, the project will be rated. Mid-term cover is not covered. In case the project has already started, policy can be given only on 2 conditions. What are these 2 conditions? This is very important. If some contractor is approaching you to take a mid-term cover, he says, I am constructing a stadium. Construction has started 6 months ago. Boundary walls are completed. Now I am working on the inside project. You give me a share policy. You cannot. Because the project has already started 6 months ago. But if still your underwriter is agreed, then you have to do 2 things. The premium will be charged from the date of commencement of the project, that is from the date of 6 months ago when the project was started. And that too, with a declaration from the insurer that there is no loss till date, then only you can get it done. Policy is issued for 1 year for further period is extended. But if the project is for the short term, say 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, short term policy can be given. And if the project is for long term, then after 1 year, the policy can be extended. Is there a possibility that the insurer can be changed? Yes, it may. Because sometimes the contractor has taken a policy from one insurance company. He didn't have the good experience during the policy period. So he don't want to take the extension from that insurer while his project is not completed yet. He wants the extension for complete 1 year, but not from the same insurer who has issued the policies. May come to you. Can you give the only extension? It can be given only in one case. If the another insurance company is giving the extension, it can be given only in one case, and that is taking the entire project of that. In this policy, installment facility is there because the huge cost is involved. So the premium can be taken in installments. 3 installment, 4 installment, as per the underwriter's agreement with the employee. Higher discounts can also be given because the tariff provides to give the higher discount, but on one condition. If the insured is agreed to accept the compulsory excess and 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, in similar proportion the discount can be given on the policy. If the insured agrees that 20 times to minimum excess, he will not take any claim. He is entitled for 30% of the fee. So this provision is already there in the policy. Now some brokers or even the contractors may approach to you for a 50/50 clause. Because this is very useful to them, so they know what is the importance of this clause. So they will ask this clause along with the policy. Now you have to understand what this clause is. Because this is available with the policy as per the provisions of the tariff, and there is no additional payment chargeable, but given on the option of the insurer if he is asking for. Because there are circumstances when even after handing over the project, the policy, after termination of the policy, the loss is discovered. And if there is any loss discovered after completion of the project or after expiry of the policy, the contractor will always blame that this has taken the place, loss has taken place in the policy period. So he will file the claim on the insurance company. Insurance company can get the loss assessed, surveyed, physically inspected, but still this is not ascertainable whether the loss has taken place today or within the policy period. So there are controversial circumstances, disputable circumstances where insurance company is not ready to pay and the insured wants the payment from the insurance company. So in such disputed conditions, this 50/50 clause plays an important role, and the liability is shared by both 50 and 50%. Insured will be at 50% liability, and the insurance company will also be at 50%. If this clause is not taken, then the insurance company will directly reject it. Another one is 72-hour clause. This is also useful for them. Because there are certain kind of risks which are impacting so severely that the losses may come with an interval. Say suppose some flood is there, water damage is there, or bushfire is there, or earthquake is there, or storm is there. So immediately at the moment, whatever loss has taken place, that is not final. And the insured has started a claim with the insurance company. Again on the next day, because of that impact, certain person has also done it. Insured again has to register a claim. So when the multiple claims are registered, because of the same reason, at the same location, on the same project, by the same insured, the insured is suffered. Why is suffered? Because on multiple claims, multiple compulsory excesses will be deducted. And under this policy, the compulsory deduction of compulsory excess is very high. It's a lakh of rupees, depending upon the nature of or amount of claim. So every time if he is suffering the loss of compulsory excess on each claim, he may lose lakhs or millions of rupees. So to avoid that, they always prefer to take a 72-hour clause that is available with the policy, that is the provision of the tariff, that is free of charge, but available at the option. Those who are aware, they will definitely take it. Or those who are not aware, brokers will guide them to take this clause. And brokers should guide because this is their expertise. They can render to the customers. So when the 72-hour clause is taken or opted by the insured, in such a case, whatever number of losses are taking place within 72 hours, that means within 3 days, they will be treated as one loss. So there will be only one compulsory excess. That means the insured will save the deduction of multiple compulsory excesses from the claim. This is 72-hour clause. Now the basic difference between CR and ER you must have understood. If the erection cost, installation cost is more than 50%, then ER. If the construction cost, civil cost is more than 50%, then contractors always. This is the only difference. Now if you have any questions, you can ask. Any doubts?